Your investigator digging into check fraud tonight. Since the pandemic, the U.S. Treasury says check fraud has increased by 385% across the country.
Banks are required to reimburse customers for unauthorized transactions as long as they find what is called reasonable promptness in discovering and reporting, which has ended up costing financial institutions hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, that big bill is now making it even harder for victims to get their money back. That's the story for one man who has spent hours upon hours trying to get his money back. Your investigator, Karen Morfitt, is fighting to get him answers.
Combing over a pile of paperwork in his kitchen, Brad Bernero is doubling down on his fight against banking giant Wells Fargo.
I don't think they did what's right. I'm trying to rectify that.
In mid-April, he used a check to pay his taxes.
$4,311. So, significant amount to a lot of people.
Dropped it off in the blue USPS mailbox outside of the Parker post office.
There's a lot of people driving by there all day long, and somebody's opening it and grabbing mail that you would think someone would notice.
By April 22nd, the check had cleared his account.
Didn't think much of it until I popped it up to look at the image, and nothing was available. This was in May.
The message today is the same one he saw months ago when wanting to make sure that check was paid to the right department.
The image cannot be displayed. They said, it's not uncommon for a governmental payment to go through to as an electronic payment. There would be no image. Although this is the first time I'd ever had an image not be available. But they kind of told me, don't worry about it.
In June, he was told his taxes were past due.
Now I needed a copy of that check to show him either it was paid or, if not, why.
Still, the bank couldn't provide one, and Bernero had to pay his taxes again. At that point, the bank sent his case to fraud investigations. It was July.
That group took copious amounts of time to get back and say, you didn't notify us enough of this, so we can't reimburse you for this.
In September, the United States Postal Inspection Service also confirmed he was the victim of mail theft, returning the envelope that was once sealed with his check inside after they say it was found at a crime scene.
Had a stamp on it, but the post office hadn't done anything with it.
Finally, in October, Bernero got a letter denying his reimbursement. It says the terms of the account agreement required Mr. Bernero to notify Wells Fargo of the altered check within 30 days after his statement was made available, not the date Mr. Bernero discovered the alteration. Bernero argues he couldn't see the check was changed because the bank never provided an image.
No one seems to understand the fact that they didn't give me the information I needed to tell them within their time frame that this was a fraudulent item.
Bernero isn't going to accept that decision.
They feel like, we just keep telling them no over and over and over again, they'll go away.
He's now filed suit in small claims court with no plans to back down now.
I'm trying to do what's right.
I did reach out to Wells Fargo asking them to clarify where Bernero could have done more to monitor his account. They responded to us last week asking for his personal information. Bernero says he got a call from the bank this week wanting to review his case, and Wells Fargo now says they're working directly with him to resolve this issue. Karen Morfitt covering Colorado First.